Week 7 of college football is in the books, and that means money makers, bag fumblers, and our game balls are given out today.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm an NFL draft analyst with Bleacher Report. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. Got a fun one, guys. You already know if you are an everydayer, you know after college football, we had to talk about those stock risers, a.k.a. the money makers, the stock fallers, those guys who just tank their stocks a little bit, those bag fumblers, and then Coach DP is going to step into the locker room and hand out this week's game balls to those needed and much-deserved prospects. But before that, this episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights for this week's highlights of moving the game forward, Mazda move and be moved.
No hiding from the tape. It's time for money makers and bag fumblers.
Money makers, guys. Let's get into those players who raise their stocks. And I have to go to a receiver that's been making a lot of headway, a lot of highlights, a lot of big-time moments over in SoCal, those USC Trojans. And I got to go and talk about Makai Lemon. Well, I believe 9 catches, 98 yards, somewhere in there. This young man had himself another big performance. And again, like I tweeted about it, Michigan's defense, I don't know what Wink Martindale, who's their defensive coordinator, was doing, but giving Makai Lemon free releases as if he's not a great route runner, a shifty, athletic, agile receiver. Yes, he had 9 targets, 9 receptions, 93 yards, and a receiving touchdown. This guy plays on the outside, but he's predominantly a slot. 66% of his snaps come in the slot. This is a yak machine. This is a young man that has great spatial awareness. He has strength. I tweeted this out maybe a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. He's pound for pound the toughest receiver in this class. This young man he has great contact balance. He absorbs contact well. And then he's a great route runner. He knows how to get open consistently and all the time. So you think about being where you're supposed to be against zone coverages. It's easy for him. He knows how to stem his routes, right? You're talking about peeling behind a zone dropper on a guys dropping that hook to curl situation. Yeah, I'll stem outside and then work right back behind you and then curl it up right beside you 2 or 3 yards away, making it able and easy for my quarterback to get the ball. He's tough. The slot fade, the ball skills. There's so many different comps right now. A lot of people think about Amon-Ra St. Brown. What we're seeing from Emeka Egbuka right now as a rookie, Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN. I'm not gonna go those 2 names because to me they were better prospects coming out. I had them rated higher, but man, Makai Lemon is working his way up into the first round. The way he's playing, Jacoby Lane was supposed to be the guy for us. He was supposed to be the guy for that offense, man. But Jaden Mayava, the quarterback for USC, and Lincoln Riley, the head coach and play caller, they have something working. They have something going when getting the ball to Makai Lemon. But the guy I need to talk about that it feels like he's not discussed a lot in this particular, I guess, tight end class. Eli Raridon, tight end out of Notre Dame. Like, he's having a really good season. He's starting to break out now. He's coming off of a big game against NC State. And without watching the game and then watching the film back, guys, I like his hands, right? I love his hands. And the fact that he knows how to get open, right? He's listed at 6'7", 252, 7 for 7 against NC State, 109 yards, average almost 16 yards per catch. In the tight end class, and again, I believe he is a senior, right? He might be a red shirt junior, and he's he can come back for one more year. But if they keep giving him the ball and keeping him factored in, let's say he has 700-800 yards receiving He doesn't. The thing about he doesn't have any touchdowns this year. CJ Carr, that was something I was worried about with the receivers and tight ends. First year starter. This is a team that's still leaning on Jeremiah Love, and Jadarian Price, the 2-star running backs. But man, I think they need to get Eli Raridon going. He had a little bit of sloppy game at times. Week 1, even though he still had against Miami, he still caught 5 for 97. This guy can win. He can win one-on-one. And what I really paid attention to and I really liked about him was the timing of his breaks to where he's supposed to be. He's an on-time route running, on-time target and threat in the middle of the field. I believe that he could potentially be one of those guys that not only wins in the red zone because of his body control, the height, weight advantage, and ball skills, but also because he just knows how to win. And he knows how to, kind of lean into guys, break that savvy tight end-esque route running that we see. But then he can give you something after the catch a little bit as well. Again, 6'7", 252. He's gonna block. He's gonna do a little bit of everything, man. And I love tight ends like that. So keep your eyes on Eli Raridon, 6'7", 252-pound tight end from Notre Dame. So again, watching what he's able to do in the tight end class, it just feels a little lackluster. We got Kenyon Sadiq. Max Claire's talented, but man, they don't get the football a lot. We got Julian because we got Julian Sayin over there as being a first-year starter, and he's only getting the ball to Cardinal Tate really into Jeremiah Smith, and I understand, right? Jack injuries, Arch Manning, and that passing attack has been disjointed, discombobulated all season. So, yeah, I do believe that you look at an Eli Raridon and say, you know what, man? This young man can go out here and make some plays. And he's got the height, weight, build, arm length, body control, ball skills that you look for. And again, being able to win in the middle of the field, seam routes, skinny posts, deep overs, dagger concepts. So when he's running that deep dig, 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 yards, yeah, sitting in the zone, the void between two linebackers at 6'7", that's a big target. It's hard to miss. So, yeah, I think absolutely his stock is up. He made himself some money. He's on my radar for sure, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do. And then there was one other guy I wanted to mention in a big game that really he played well, man, and that's Roman Hemby, transfer from Maryland. I think it was a starter. He played there really substantially, like 3 seasons and everything, going all the way back to 2022. He's been there since 2021. And then he transferred to Indiana. And on the season, 84 carries, 419 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. And those 2 rushing touchdowns came in the biggest game of their season on the road in Autzen Stadium when they upset the Oregon Ducks. He was 19 of 70. Yes, he averaged 3.7 yards per carry. But again, two touchdowns. And for me, it was simple. I love the fact that they could lean on him, they could rely on him, and he helped keep this offense on schedule and not put everything on the shoulders of Fernando Mendoza, especially on the road. And Roman Hemby, just to give you a little bit of insight on him, he's 6 foot 210, so he's got the build. And everybody always, certain teams love to say, we don't care about running backs. Let me get a guy around 5, 6, or 7. Maybe even undrafted. Look what Rico Dowdle's doing for the Carolina Panthers. He was an undrafted player, man, and he's back-to-back 200-yard rushing attempts, 200 rushing yard games against Miami, against the Dallas Cowboys. But coming up next, what goes up must come down. We have to talk about those bag fumblers from Week 7 of college football for the 2026 NFL Draft coming up next. You know the saying, look good, feel good. The problem is that most dress clothes only check one of those boxes. They look sharp but feel stiff, hot, and high maintenance. And that's why there is Mizzen & Main. Mizzen & Main makes classic men wear with performance fabrics. So it's effortless to look sharp and feel comfortable. They actually invented the performance fabric dress shirt over 10 years ago. I mean, over a decade ago, and they've perfected it ever since. It's the feel of athletic wear, but the look of professional menswear. Right now, Mizzen & Main is offering our listeners 20% off your first purchase at mizzenandmain.com with the promo code LOCKEDONNFL20. That's Mizzen, spelled M-I-Z-Z-E-N, and Main, main.com with the promo code LOCKEDONNFL20 for 20% off. And if you'd rather shop in person, you can find Miz and their main stores in select states. This episode is brought to you by Mazda's Moving the Game Forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. And there are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. And this week's moment that moved the game forward happened because of Alabama star quarterback Ty Simpson. After being harassed all game by Missouri's defensive front and their blitz pressure and their pressure packages, he stood tall on 4th and 8 and delivered a dime to put them in striking territory in the red zone to push their lead even further. Kalen DeBoer is now able to stack wins, and Ty Simpson is helping move that winning culture for Coach DeBoer forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning, and just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. So Mazda, move, and I'm telling you guys, move and be moved. What goes up must come down.
No hiding from the tape. It's time for moneymakers and bag fumblers.
We talked moneymakers, those stock risers. Now we got to talk about the stock fallers, and I got to go to that Penn State game where so much went on that led to the firing of James Franklin. I've not been a fan of James Franklin for quite some time. Again, he's been a good coach, good recruiter. He's been good for the program, but it's been a thing of mediocrity, right? So, but don't want to get on that tangent. One of their corners, man, AJ Harris, a guy had a lot of, I was excited for him this year. 6'1", 185 pounds. And you go back to the Oregon game where he allowed 5 receptions on 6 targets for 53 yards. No touchdowns allowed per PFF. But then against UCLA, he allowed 1 catch on 1 target for 11 yards. That was for a touchdown. And against Northwestern, targeted 1 time, allowed 1 catch, 29 yards, and a touchdown. But here's the kicker. Guys, he only played 10 total. No, he only played 18 total snaps and 8 in coverage. I believe he was benched after the touchdown that he gave up. So that's a big stock down. That's a big-time bag fumbler in this cornerback class. We don't know what this cornerback class is going to ultimately be, with Jamont McCoy not being healthy in return from his injury right now from the ACL that he tore, even though they were putting out there that he would be ready by week 3 or 4, right? He'll be ready in September. Well, guess what, guys? It's the 13th of October. We don't know when he's going to return. So this was an opportunity. Mansour Delane at LSU took the bull by the horns and said, I will be the CB1 of this class. Avion Terrell has played well, as long as you don't get him matched up on a 6'7" tight end from LSU. You know what I mean? He's played well. There's been some other corners that played well. AJ Harris, this was your moment. You knew you were going to face some big-time competition. You knew you were going to deal with DeCarrion Moore over when you played Oregon in your house. You knew that. And the last 3 weeks of the season, I believe the first 4 to 5 games or whatnot, Nevada, FIU, Villanova, the first 3 games, I'm sorry, because he had a bye week before the Oregon game at home. The first 3 matchups, he was barely targeted. Opposing quarterbacks didn't really want to. No, he was only targeted 1 time in 3 weeks. So it made it look like he was playing better than he was. He just wasn't being targeted. And that's against low-level competition. And the quarterbacks are not NFL caliber guys. So they say, you know what? I'm not targeting that man. Smart. Well, guess what? Dante Moore's an NFL caliber guy, right? Nico Iamaleava, NFL caliber guy. Okay? And it just is what it is. I think Preston Stone, I believe, is the quarterback for Northwestern. Yes, Preston Stone, potential NFL guy, kind of, maybe that Bailey Zappi, type of archetype in a sense, right? But nonetheless, a guy that could be drafted, and they targeted you, and he was benched. So just a stock down, a bag fumbled from AJ Harris. Because again, with AJ Harris, you just look at it from the aspect of, young man, you are 6'1", 185 pounds. You're athletic. You're talented. You're gifted. You are all these things. How did we get here? That's just how I look at how did we get here. But you want to talk about how did we get here? Let's talk about how did we get here with Auburn defensive lineman Keldrick Falk. This is a guy that Keith has talked about. Keith has even said that he had him. I believe he was number 2 or 3 on Keith's preseason top 10 rankings. And oddly enough, he was not on mine. Because I just, again, he's a tweener. I had no idea what I was really going to do with him. And I'll say this, statistically, he had 4 pressures in this game, right? He had 4 pressures total in this game against Georgia. 0 sacks, 0 QB hits. He had a pass rush win rate of 8.8. It did go up on true dropback sets to 14.3. But the point is, and this is something we've talked about, me and Keith talked about, recently. With Keldrick Falk, what are you getting besides a great run defender? He's not a true edge. He's stiff in the hips. He doesn't have that explosive get off. He's a speed to power demon, right? But he's over reliant on that. He's not a great hand technician. He doesn't have the dip and bend and the hip fluidity and flexibility. He doesn't have those things. So it's, to me, I need to see those counters, those quick counters, to go from speed to power to a double hand swipe inside, and now you're right into the face of the quarterback, right? So it's those type of things where I think he's probably going to be better suited, reduced down into that 4-eye, and on passing downs, maybe 3 tech, where he can rush against guards and some centers, and he has doesn't have a corner to turn. It's all about softening the edges of the blocker and creating a clear path for you to get to the quarterback. And with his height, right, with his height and his build and his body type, you get past that interior offensive lineman. Now you're in the face of the quarterback at 6'6", 285 pounds. Yeah, they typically don't want to see guys like you. So I think stock has just been down for him overall. I'm about to look here to see how many sacks does he have in the season. Last year he had 9. So last year he had 9 sacks, 5 QB hits, and 31 hurries per PFF, right? This year, 2 sacks, 1 QB hit, 16 pressures. He has a batted pass down this year, right? But again, 2 sacks. He's stopping the run and everything for the most part. Like, he's got run stops under his belt, but still, yet he has not played to the potential and ability that we know that he had physically. Right, I think he's only 20 years old or something like that. Still a young player that has potential, but I need to see. Tell me who you are, right? Eminem in the 90s, 2000s. I'm not going to age myself on here, but nonetheless, you know, right? If you know, you know. He said, "Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Will the real Keldrick Falk please stand? Tell me what you are, big fella. Are you an interior defensive lineman? Are you an edge? Are you a hybrid that can rush and win from both? I need to know what you are so I can properly evaluate and then tell and really deploy you at the next level. Because right now, this eval is muddy. Because to me, you're IDL. But I don't want to. I need you to tell me. Keep telling me throughout the season. Can you win off the edge? Because if you can't, I'm reducing you down inside, and I'm playing you as a 4-eye, especially in odd man fronts. That's the way to go. But guys, coming up next, Coach DP is walking into the locker room to hand out his game ball of the week from week 7 of college football. Coming up next. When the whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side protected and covered. Do you need parts fast for a project? Well, Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a big-time game changer. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use the promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com Real people, real service. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The NFL season is in full swing, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 back in bonus bets if you win. That's right, you heard me correct. Pick a bet, put down $5, just $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 back in bonus bets to use freely across the app. I mean, it's going to give you the options to build player props, also build and play your same game parlays, and even jump into the live game action as it unfolds. So the question I have for you is simple. What? And I mean, what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com right now to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Again, visit FanDuel.com right now to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and everyday. Shout out for being our everydayers. It's Coach DP, and it's time for me to walk into the locker room and hand out that deserving game ball from Week 7 of college football.
I'm calling game.
And the game ball of the week goes to none other than Indiana wide receiver Elijah Surratt against the Oregon Ducks. I believe he won game ball last week for his performance against Iowa in a game that he ended up catching the game-winning touchdown after having over 130 yards. Well, 2 times a charm, right? 2 times is a charm when you talk about a wide receiver, caught 8 catches, 121 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. Elijah Surratt made play after play. That timing and chemistry with Fernando Mendoza is growing, and it's growing quickly, and it's becoming a dangerous connection because when Mendoza wants to push the ball down the field, he goes back. Here's when you know you have a connection and rapport developed with your quarterback, the back shoulder fade. It's a trust throw. It's a throw where I throw it behind you to a spot with accuracy, and you got to stop and make a play. And he's able to do that, right? But not only that, out routes, timing, rhythm. He's putting it out there for him, putting it out there early, knowing and understanding his break, the tempo of his break, the suddenness of his break, the quickness of Surratt's break. Mendoza's out there to be able to put it out there early and put it out there for him to go ahead, catch, and then make a play. Elijah Surratt plays with great strength. This young man plays with strength, physicality. He's listed at 6'2", 213 to 215 pounds. And you see that. The ball skills, the strong hands, the game-winning touchdown, believe was another back shoulder fade and everything right on the money. He threw it early. It was a beautiful throw. And then Elijah Surratt just plays big boy football. Where it's like, you know what, throw it to me in the paint. But it's like, but he's fronting you. I don't care. Throw it to me in the paint. Front me or not, I'm going to get around this man, and I'm going to get the ball in the paint and make the play. And he does just that. I could have put him in the money makers. Because, guys, again, over back-to-back games, over 120 yards receiving and a touchdown with the game-winning touchdown. When your quarterback trusts and believes in you, I'm telling you guys, listen to me. When you trust and believe in your receiver, when the game is on the line, you go to that guy. I love Omar Cooper. I think he's more twitch. I think he has more juice, more run after catch ability, all of that, right? He might be the better prospect, athletically and everything, to Elijah Surratt. But if you ask Indiana, hey, game on the line, you need to make the throw. You need the game-winning touchdown. Who you going to? They proved it back-to-back weeks. We're going to Elijah Surratt. So Elijah Surratt has played well this year. And just for some numbers, context, he's caught 38, I'm sorry. He's been targeted 51 times. So he caught 38 of 51 targets, roughly with 74.5 catch percentage, 509 yards receiving, roughly about 13.5 yards per reception. 7 receiving touchdowns. Over the last 3 games, he has 4 of his 7 over the last 3. 2 against Illinois, 1 against Iowa, and one game winner against Iowa, game winner against Oregon. I'm just, yes, guys, yes. He can create, with his strength and everything. He's pretty solid getting yards after the catches. Average depth of targets around 9.7 on the season right now. And for those who value this, the yards per route run is at 2.98, almost 3 yards, right? So he gets open. He stresses defenses, especially, when you give him off coverage and everything. But he's playing great football. He's playing strong football. He's playing big boy football. So that's the show, guys. Game ball goes to Indiana star wide receiver Elijah Surratt. We talked about those bag fumblers, those stock fallers, stocks that are on the downward trend. You might want to sell before it collapses. And then those money makers, aka those stock, the guys whose stocks are up, right? Those rising stocks, the ones, before it gets too high, let me go ahead and put my bid in. Let me get a couple shares because this might just hit and make me a millionaire. All of that from today's show. So, guys, as always, go subscribe and follow for free wherever you listen to podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. On tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about the QB of the week and why is that guy might be in Clemson. Back-to-back performances. Talking about Cade Klubnik in my neck of the woods. We'll talk about that on tomorrow's show. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.